What's good? Jay Wick here, back with another install video. As you can tell by the title of today's video, I will be showing you how to remove and install any aftermarket Glock night sights. I have these Ameriglo night sights here with me today that I'm going to install on my Gen 5 Glock 21 chambered in Big 45 ACP. Be sure to check out my unboxing and install playlist for other installation videos. Before we start removing and installing these new night sights, I want to provide you a list of tools needed to complete this removal and install.
Is there a reason that you're not writing this down?
A workbench or steady table, a workbench mat, rubbing alcohol, cotton rounds or cotton balls, Q-tips, thread locker for screws under an inch, Glock front sight install tool, hammer and punch that are only needed if you don't have the last thing on this list, which is a rear sight adjustment tool.
All right, let's get to it.
First step, which is the most important, would be ensuring that no magazine is in the firearm and making sure no rounds are in the chamber. I recommend doing this in a separate room away from any ammunition or children if you have any. Safety first is always the biggest priority for me and my viewers. Second step will be removing the slide from the frame. I won't demonstrate it for you today, but I have a more detailed breakdown and explanation video I'll tag for new firearm owners new to the Glock platform. It shows you how to fully field strip and reassemble any Glock. My installation videos playlist is tagged as well for you to check out. After removing the slide from the frame, let's remove the front sight, as this step is significantly easier than removing the rear sight. Alright, take off the recoil spring and remove the barrel. You can see it kind of there. That's the screw we're going to remove that holds that front sight. So we're going to take this Glock front sight tool to remove this screw here from the slide. As you can see, there's a screw right there. So just literally put this tool over the screw. Make sure you got it on there. Okay, we got it tricky. Okay, and then just turn to the left, turn counterclockwise to remove the screw. Here we go. Feel it pulling now. And as you can see there's a screw coming up. Let me go ahead and take this screw all the way out. I just removed the screw here. Keep this screw and set it off to the side. Now the front sight is, gone. Took it off, took it to the side. Make sure to keep this screw and the front sight, keep them together, do not lose them. After removing the front sight, you're gonna take a Q-tip. I'm gonna grab one of these Q-tips here, some of this rubbing alcohol. Just gonna simply, don't matter what kind of you got, 70, 90%, just, get some good rubbing alcohol. Make sure you squeeze off the excess here. And what you're gonna do is take the slide and you're gonna clean the top of the slide like I'm doing right here. As you can see there, clean the top of the slide all around. And you're gonna do the same thing on the bottom where the screw was. Just clean all around there. And what you're doing is you're degreasing it, you're degreasing it and getting rid of gunpowder residue and whatnot. So see that black, see how dirty it is on this Q-tip? It's just getting all that gunpowder residue, and basically just clean it and degrease it. Clean it around the area where the screw is and the front side as much as possible. And what you're gonna do is, just after you clean all the residue around the area, just let it sit for a few minutes and then let it cool off, dry off, and you'll be ready for the next step. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and let that dry. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and take out the new sights here. It's the model number GL433 Ameriglo. It's the type with the blacked out rear. So I tend to like the blackout rear and the orange and green night tritium in the front. As you can see here, it's orange outside, green tritium in the center, and that's the front sight. And then it's going to be this type of setup, similar to the ones I have on my Glock 45. So let's put the rear sight to the side for now, as we're just need to install this front one for now. So what you're going to do is clearly take the screw out here and set this off to the side as well. Okay, now with these new sights, you're also going to want to, just to be safe, degrease potentially if there's any from manufacturing. So take the other side of that same Q-tip you used originally, make sure to squeeze off the excess again, and just do a little bit. You don't need that much. Should be fine since it's brand new clearly, but just to be on the safe side, you could degrease those as well and let those just sit for, I'd say, another minute or so. And once they're dry, you'll be ready for the next step. Let's check the bottom of the slide, see if the bottom's, oh yeah, see the bottom of the slide looks pretty good. It's a little wet, but it'll be dry in a few seconds, so we'll let that dry and let these screws dry as well. Okay, after the slide and the new sights dry, take the slide and grab the new night sights and make sure you place it on the right way. And what I'm going to do is obviously, place it the way it's supposed to be, ensuring it's centered as possible, but you can just adjust it later. But make sure it's obviously centered as possible. And what I usually do is just literally flip it upside down. Okay, once it's lined up, what you're going to do is take the Glock front sight tool and put the new screw in here. That's for the new night sight, and make sure to put a nice drop of thread locker on top of this screw. It's like a drop. Literally all you need is a drop or two. See it? That's a good drop right there. And I'm also, in addition, going to place a drop inside on the bottom of the slide where the screw is going to go in. All right, there we go. So I put a dab on the screw itself and where the screw is going to go. Then what I'm going to do is just start it, get it started, and you're going to have some excess, and that's fine. Just get it in there, get it started, turn, and what you want to do is hand tighten it. Do not over tighten this. It's okay. Here we go. Just hand tighten it. Don't over tighten it because you can snap this screw. There we go. You could see it's secure in there. And be sure to remove any excess thread locker like I'm going to do here. Make sure to remove any excess around, because all that's going to do, honestly, if you leave it in there, just collect a lot of dust and might just cause issues. Don't want any potential functionality issues. You can see that thread lockers coming off there. Let's get actually one of these little cotton balls. Get in there pretty good. Make sure to wipe off any excess like I mentioned, and as you can see there, yeah, looks pretty good. Once you put it on, you want to make sure it looks secure and lined up as much as possible with the factory night sights, and this actually looks pretty good. You can see a little residue I see on, so I'm going to make sure to clean it up, not only on the under but on top as well. Get any excess thread locker around there. Just clean it up, get another one of these. Okay, there we go. Got some excess thread locker on both sides. Okay, I cleaned up the excess pretty well on both sides, as you can see here. Had a little excess on both ends, but looks pretty clean, and we're gonna let that set. Looks pretty straight as well. Obviously, you know, sighting it in, zeroing in at the range is the best way to make sure that your sights are clearly up to par and what they need to be, but this looks pretty good so far. Can always make adjustments later, so remember that. Okay, the easy part is done. Now onto the more challenging part of the install. But first I want to take time out to thank you for getting to this point in the video. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. I hope you enjoy the content, and if you get anything out of today's video, then I appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and share your feedback on the channel. It's greatly appreciated, and it helps my channel grow as I'm currently on the road to 500 subscribers. Now back to the video. For the second half of the video, you will need the rear sight adjustment tool, a punch or hammer if you don't have the rear sight tool, rubbing alcohol, and some Q-tips or cotton rounds for this part. Okay, these next steps might be different for you if you use a different rear sight adjustment tool, but it's essentially the same process. Okay, I have my slide here, and I'm going to insert it and secure it to the sight removal tool. It's easier to just start it this way, and gotta raise this lever up to get me up here. There we go. Now make sure to secure it from both sides as well. Gotta secure it from the bottom. Tighten it in on both sides like so. Alright, secure it from the top down. Okay. Essentially, when you have it in this device right here, it should look something like this. And when you turn this lever here, it moves the dovetail. It moves the sight out of the dovetail here by literally just turning this. So I'm just going to show you how to do it. Like I said, it might be different depending on what type of sight adjustment tool you use, but once again, it's pretty much the same process. So once you have it lined up correctly, then turn this wheel here and it'll gradually just push the factory sight from the dovetail. So I'm going to push it to the right like so. Just keep on pushing. As you can see, it's already starting to move. That's why this thing is just, man, so easy. Just keep on turning till you can't turn anymore. So there you go. Voila. Super easy. Look how easy it is, y'all. Alright, now it's pretty much off. The rest you could do with your fingers. So I'm gonna remove it from this tool. Going the wrong way there. Okay, remove it from the device. Here we go. And pull it out, and look, it already fell off. Where'd she go? Like I said, keep this, so always gotta save your night sight. I mean your factory sights. So there she is. Dovetail is empty and clear here. And you're gonna repeat the same step as you did earlier with the front sights. You're gonna want to degrease this area as well, the dovetail here. So I'll just grab a cotton ball here, get some rubbing alcohol on there, squeeze the excess again, and literally just clean in there. Ain't much to it. It's clean in there. Got a little too much excess on there, but it's okay. I'm just gonna clean this area around the dovetail. Obviously used too much alcohol, but that's fine. Just gonna wipe it with one of these cotton rounds just for time's sakes. But essentially you're just degreasing it, getting rid of any dirt, debris or whatnot in this area, because you don't want that in there to get in the way between the new night sights. So yeah, essentially just same thing, just shouldn't have used as much alcohol, but okay, let that dry, and you'll be ready for the next step. Okay, I went ahead and cleaned these new aftermarket night sights with rubbing alcohol as well, and let it dry out. So, but for time's sake, I just did it off camera. So what you're gonna do is make sure you have it lined up the right way and start feeding it through the dovetail like so. As you can see, this slid in pretty well. Sometimes they don't slide in as much, but in this case, actually this one slid in about maybe a little over a third of the way, but it's a good start. What you're gonna do is take the slide again and put it in the sight adjustment, rear sight adjustment tool. Okay, I have the front sight back in here. As you can see here, this angle, I got it finally back in here and secured. I'm sorry, not the front sight, the slide, excuse me. I have the rear sight lined up, and all I'm gonna do is turn this wheel here. Make sure I get turned the right way, huh?
Maybe I'm wrong.
And once I turn the wheel, it's literally just gonna push it further down the dovetail. Okay, now I have the rear sight correctly lined up in the dovetail. Now I'm gonna apply thread locker to the rear sight on all sides. So from the side of it, I'm just gonna apply this thread locker here. Back portion here, I'm gonna apply some thread locker. All down here, try to get in through this seal. On the other side here, and a little bit here on the front as well. I'm gonna apply that to all sides like I just mentioned, and I'm gonna let it sit and set for about 15 to 20 minutes. Got it good and coated there, maybe a little too much. I'll probably take some of this off before I let it dry for 10 to 15 minutes. Take a little of that excess off there. Okay, after 15 to 20 minutes, I'm gonna lightly wipe off this excess thread locker here. We use this Q-tip and just wipe off any extra thread locker to the sides, each and every side. A lot on this rear side right here. And wipe off all the excess thread locker around it. Okay, we're gonna let that thread locker and sights cure for 24 hours at least before shooting the firearm. You can either zero the firearm before applying the thread locker to the rear sight, as it's okay to fine tune the sights at the range before applying the thread locker to the sight. You can also make adjustments to the sight after the 24-hour setting process. Be sure to apply more thread locker after any adjustments are made. Now the last and final step is to wipe down the sights with a protective oil in order to prevent any potential rust issues. Easiest way to remember to do this is to automatically wipe down the sights the same time you clean the firearm. Thanks for sticking to the end. More tutorial videos coming soon. Like, share, comment, and subscribe for more content to come. But like I always say, stay alert, stay safe, and stay vigilant. J-Week out. See you next week.